There's just so much that's happened in the past couple of days. I'm gonna try and break some of it down. Let's run that intro. Hey everyone, Mighty Mr. Mooresky here. Welcome back to the channel, and I suppose I should apologize for such a delay between uploads. Things have just been, I suppose, a bit quiet because there hasn't been much to talk about. Obviously, I had my Comic-Con last month, and I did upload my first gameplay video. Now, that didn't get a lot of views, so I may not do more of that. I may not focus on it anyway. I may just do it like, every so often, or if I get a new game or something. And I've just been dealing with a few other things, college, Comic-Con, illness, because, with it being winter, well, the end of winter, the colds and stuff like that, it decides to come out, and a few I'm going to say personal issues, not issues, sorry, but personal things. I'm not going to go into detail about, because I'm sure you don't want to hear that. But in the past couple of days, we've had some cracking news and releases. Now, first, I want to give an honorable mention to the fact we're getting teaser trailers for Justice League. I have watched them. I'm not a DC fan as such, and in particular, I am not a Batman fan. I really do not like Batman. But I've been watching the teaser trailers, so I've seen the Aquaman one, Batman, of course, Flash, and Wonder Woman, leaving Cyborg and hopefully Superman. Because, I want to see Superman. I want to see Superman. But yeah, the honorable mention goes to that. However, the big news is, well, there's several bits. Firstly, they're filming Infinity War. They're getting into production of Avengers Infinity War, which will come out next year, followed by Avengers 4, which comes out in 2019. They've started filming, and already seen on the set was Vision, Paul Bettany's character. And I think Scarlet Witch. So those two characters obviously confirmed for Infinity War. Vision obviously had to be in Infinity War. He's got an Infinity Stone in his forehead. Thanos needs to get that somehow. It may not even be Thanos that gets him. It could be his disciples, his followers, all like Proxima Midnight, all them. So that's the first thing, and they're filming in Edinburgh right now. So that's the first bit of news. The fact we're getting Infinity War starting production. I mean, it probably did start production earlier, because we saw that clip of Robert Downey Jr., Chris Pratt, and Tom Holland in the same place. So we got Star-Lord, Spider-Man, and Iron Man in the same spot, which is fantastic. And speaking of Spider-Man, biggest news for me, and it's actually started today. Today, the 24th, we got new posters for Spider-Man Homecoming, and they look terrific. So this first one, I'm actually going to show you. This first one is, well, it's on screen right now. So we see Spider-Man. He's in his full suit. He's wearing a jacket for his high school, for Midtown, and we got the main river. I can't. Is it the Hudson River? If there's any New York, any people, any fans from New York that are watching, please let me know what river it is. I'm pretty sure it's the Hudson, but I'm not entirely sure because I've never been to New York outside of a video game. And what is in the background? None other than the Avengers Tower, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But that was the first poster. Yeah, it was cool, but this one is even cooler. This is, of course, Spider-Man, full suit, and he's on the side of the Avengers Tower, on the A, and it's, wow. you know, this is what fans have been dreaming of. Fans who, ever since the MCU started, ever since Avengers was released and then Amazing Spider-Man came out, fans wanted to see Spider-Man with the Avengers within the MCU. We finally got it. It feels so weird. It's about this time last year. We were getting ready for Captain America Civil War, and they were releasing information that Spider-Man is going to have half an hour or so in the film. He's not just going to be a cameo. He's going to have quite a few lines to speak. He's going to have some action, which for a Spider-Man fan is absolutely terrific. And now, a year later, we're getting ready for his solo film. We're getting ready for Spider-Man Homecoming, which is just mind-blowing. Of course, I will be seeing it, and I'll be going in my Homecoming Spider-Man suit, and going with a couple of friends, and we're just going to go and watch it. I know one person who probably wouldn't want to see it with me in the suit. So yeah, that's fantastic. I'm getting so excited for Homecoming. Its release date is said as May 7th, I think. No, July 7th, sorry, not May 7th. But we in the UK, for some reason, we get all the Marvel films a week early. So Captain America Civil War right there. I think the rest of the world, it was May 6th. For us, we got it like April 29th. We got it a week early, so we got to watch it. We got to enjoy Spider-Man finally being in the MCU, and then the rest of the world caught up. I'm not complaining. I mean, Logan was like a couple of days apart. We got it first, then 2 days later, it came out the rest of the world. I don't know why that happens, but as I've been saying, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. So, with it being July 7th for the rest of the world, probably about the 30th or the 29th of June, the UK will get Spider-Man Homecoming. And I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. So that's that. Another bit of news that's related to Spider-Man is Sony is going ahead with its spin-off of Venom. Personally, I don't know how it's going to work. I know Venom had his own spin-off title in the comics quite a few years ago, in which he was like a lethal protector type character. But trying to think off the top of my head, I think it was slated for release 2018 or 2019. My only hopes are that they do Venom right. Topher Grace, I know it seems cliche to bash Spider-Man 3 because of Venom, but Topher Grace was not a good Venom. Maybe Eddie Brock, yeah, he was alright, but Venom, no. Venom, the way we see Venom, even when he first appeared in the comics, he's huge. He's bigger and more menacing than Spider-Man. I mean, yeah, with Todd McFarlane's artwork, it looked like they were evenly matched. And if you know me well, you know I'm not a fan of Todd McFarlane. His lines are just a bit too thick for me. And yeah, I'm just not a fan of his artwork. But the Venom that we know is big. He's muscular, he's intimidating, he's practically Hulk size, and he looks like he can do damage to Spider-Man. And of course the sharp teeth and the long tongue that just kind of like goes everywhere. That's better. But not only are we getting a Venom spin-off, which if they're gonna bring the black suit into Infinity War and Avengers 4, basically making this the Secret War, I suggest they wait until after that before they bring Venom in, because Venom needs, Venom's origin comes from Spider-Man. Spider-Man had the black suit, he got rid of it, Eddie Brock got it, he became Venom. That's how it works. It wouldn't make much sense to me, or for any Spider-Man fan, for Venom to come first, and then Peter gets the black suit. It just wouldn't make a lot of sense. But aside from Venom, they're planning on going ahead with a Black Cat and I think it was, yeah, Silver Sable spin-off film. Now, for those of you who don't know, Black Cat was, I suppose the best way of describing her is she's basically Marvel's Catwoman. She is a cat burglar. She looks a little bit different. She's got white hair, white fur on her costume, but she still has the full black costume, and she's still quite sexy and, you know, teases Spider-Man quite a bit. Which, if you think about it, in a skin-tight spandex costume, it's not the best of ideas. And her alter ego was Felicia Hardy. Going by the 90s animated series, Felicia Hardy is, you know, upper class, you know, silver spoon up her arse kind of person, but more American. And had the Hardy Foundation and stuff like that. And again, the 90s animated series, she had a version of Captain America's super soldier serum in her blood. So with Captain America in the MCU, if Black Cat's going to tie into the MCU, which it would make more sense to do that than to tie it in with the previous Amazing Spider-Man franchise, then it's there. Silver Sable, on the other hand, is she's basically like a mercenary. She's Russian, wears like a silver costume and has long silver hair. And she has her team, the Wild Pack, I think it's called. She's lethal. She is quite lethal. She's been in, off the top of my head, she's been in the new animated series of Spider-Man, that CGI one that had Neil Patrick Harris as Spider-Man. She was in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. She was the third villain. Well, she was in the third mission, kind of. I mean, the main villain was Juggernaut, but she was in there because she was after Juggernaut, but she remembers a bounty that's on Spider-Man's head. And funnily enough, that Spider-Man was actually voiced by Neil Patrick Harris, so he's faced Silver Sable twice. So those spin-offs, I mean, the Silver Sable one could be quite interesting because, you know, she's a mercenary. Maybe she had run-ins with Black Widow. You never know. Black Cat on the sorry. Black Cat on the other hand, I'm not too sure about. I mean, she could. It could be potentially a good one. If they go along the route of her having a version of Captain America's super soldier serum, and literally as I've been talking, the teaser trailer for Cyborg for Justice League has just dropped. I had an email notification right down here, so that's how I know. So there we are. 5 Justice League members. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Black Cat, if they go down the route of making her, or giving her the version of Captain America's, you know, super soldier serum, that could work. I could see that working. But, I don't know. And as I've said with Venom, I'm not entirely sure how that would work. Honestly, with Venom, though, he would need to be CGI. There's no way they could do him a live-action costume. He needs to be CGI. They realized that with Thanos. Obviously, they realized it with the Hulk and Abomination. Other big, menacing characters like Ultron. Venom needs to be CGI. There's no question about it. He needs to be CGI. Maybe motion capture. And what else? Oh yeah, Captain America. Kind of going back to Cap. Chris Evans last week said that after Avengers 4, he was done playing Captain America, which obviously gets your mind racing of the theories. Oh my god, he's going to die in Avengers 4, and either Bucky or Falcon are going to become the new Captain America. My money's on Bucky. I want Bucky to be Cap. Because he knew Cap longer. But he said that, and then a few days later, he said he's willing to extend his contract to play Captain America after Avengers 4. Now, personally, there's one story I want from Captain America. If they decide to do another solo film or another type of film with Captain America, I want Dimension Z. In fact, if you look behind me, all these posters that I have, this one, this one, this one, and also this one are from Dimension Z. And in fact, there's another one there as well. So I've got 5 posters on my wall that are from Dimension Z. It's a great story. If you haven't read it, go and find it. It's Captain America Castaway in Dimension Z. It's a great story. I think it's my favorite after The Winter Soldier. So that would be my ideal Captain America film. So yeah, Chris Evans might stay on for Cap a bit longer. And who knows, maybe he'll face up for his crimes in the Civil War. Crimes. You know, if they follow a similar plot to what happened in the comics, where he died after the Civil War. Yeah, that was one problem I had. All the people were saying, oh, Cap should have died in the Civil War movie like he did in the comics. He died after the Civil War ended. How he actually died was he was assassinated while he was going for trial for what he did in the Civil War. He didn't die during the Civil War. That's a common misconception, and it's what a lot of DC fanboys use to try and get one up on Civil War. As to why it's worse than Batman vs Superman. But there you go. So, yeah, I mean, it does beg the question what the future of the MCU will be. What will happen down the line? We know we're going to get more Spider-Man films. We're going to get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Doctor Strange sequels, Black Panther sequels, Captain Marvel sequels. Who else are we going to have? Ant-Man sequels. Maybe no more. Maybe we'll get an Aquaman. Not Aquaman, sorry. Maybe we'll get Submariner in films. I only say Aquaman because I got it on my screen. But maybe we'll get no more. Maybe down the line, Fox will finally release their grip of the Fantastic Four, and we can have the Fantastic Four in the MCU to be done right. Because fortunately, there doesn't seem to be any plans for a sequel or any kind for a new Fantastic Four film. Which, that's the smart option. Don't make another. Or if you do, make another reboot and get the cast right. Get the story right. They're not dark. Don't make them dark. But there we have it, you know. So that's all the news. That's the rundown, basically. New Spider-Man Homecoming posters. The Venom spin-off. A Black Cat and Silver Sable spin-off. Obviously, the honourable mention to the Justice League. The fact that they're coming out. I will say, I'm actually quite interested in Justice League. It does look like it will be a good film. My fingers are crossed that Justice League and Wonder Woman restore faith in the DCEU. Because, let's face it, Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad, they could have been so much better. They should have been much better. But they fell flat. So, you know, that's I guess that's like my unpopular opinion if you ask a DC fanboy. But that's the way it is. And, yeah, I will say also, I have seen Logan. And you have to see it, without a doubt. You have got to see Logan. But you better prepare yourself, because the way it was described to me was, friends of mine were asking me, you know, how did you react when you were watching Toy Story 3? To put it out there, I cried during Toy Story 3. Because, you know, I grew up with them. You know, they're up on, I don't know if you can see them, but they're right up there. My Buzz Lightyear and my Woody, they're up there on my wardrobe. I was born a year before Toy Story came out. So there's a reason why I was crying at Toy Story 3. I grew up with these characters. So he said, basically, you cried at Toy Story 3? Yeah. Logan's going to destroy you on that same level. I was crying my eyes out watching Logan. So watch it, but prepare yourself. You know, and certainly don't watch it with someone who's going to laugh at you for crying. There's no one over there. There's no one over there. It's just my bad. But, you know. So anyway, yeah. And in terms of film releases, I do still need to see Beauty and the Beast. I do still need to see Kong Skull Island. Of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 will be coming out soon, and I cannot wait to see that, because it looks so good. And that's basically all I want to talk about. That's all I've got to say. So, let me know everything down in the comments below. Are you excited for this Venom spin-off, this Black Cat, Silver Sable? What do you think of Captain America possibly staying after Avengers 4? Are you excited for Avengers Infinity War? What else was there? Are you excited for Spider-Man Homecoming the same way I am? If you have seen Logan, what did you think of Logan? If you haven't seen it, why the hell not? Are you going to be seeing Beauty and the Beast and Kong Skull Island? All that, and, you know, answers to all the questions I basically put out there. Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like rating. If you really enjoyed it, add it to your favorites if you want. Now, if you want to watch my previous video, then click the link right here. I'm hopefully pointing to it, but click the link right here, which will take you to my previous video. If you want to see a video similar to this, click the link here. Again, I'm hoping I'm pointing to it. Ryan, you better not mess this up. And if you want to see more videos like this, more cosplay, Comic-Con, geek-related stuff, then hit the subscribe button right here or down below in the description. And until the next video, I've been Mighty Mr. Mooresky. Y'all have a nice day.